interesting weekend. Let's do some legs work. Oh, look at legs. Oh, look at that photo. I like it. All right, Timmy.
PG show, legs.
Yeah, they put his face on my body there. Okay, legs. Boston. What a drubbing they put in against the Warriors yesterday. Let's start with the Golden State side. Are we concerned about that loss?
Hey, well, first of all, I didn't know anybody had a camera in the gym this morning at the hotel. It's pretty good that they caught me there. Listen, I don't think they should be concerned about this for this reason, Greeny. This isn't a championship caliber team. Right now, Golden State's measuring stick is just try to make a first round interesting or threatening in the Western Conference. The Boston Celtics are a buzzsaw when they get going like this. Golden State's shorthanded. They were at the end of a trip. Steph Curry didn't even know if he was going to play. And when they got hit with that barrage early in the game, they basically checked out. Doesn't matter if it's a 20-point loss or it's 50. They're not in the Celtics league, and they know that.
Okay, next, you were here last week. I know you love the Mavericks. They lose at home against the shorthanded Sixers team. What are we thinking about Dallas today?
Well, we're thinking that this is a team still that frustrates everybody because they're just not willing to lay it on the line defensively. They don't leave enough skin on the floor, Greeny. They don't stack together multiple effort plays on that end. They've given up 127 points a game in their last 5, and I was all in on the acquisitions at the trading deadline. I think this team is a threat in the West, but not unless they commit fully to defending.
And then this Saturday night, in a game you saw on ABC, LeBron James boldly went where no one had ever gone before. Already the all-time leading scorer in the history of the league. He reached 40,000 points. How do we put that in perspective?
This is really what's most amazing about this to me, Greeny, is the fact that LeBron James never really viewed himself or carried himself as a raw scoring threat. That's not really the way he viewed the game. In fact, when he was first thrust upon the scene, the thing that stood out to all of us, besides the athletic ability, was his vision and passing. I think LeBron James always viewed himself more as a guy that wanted to control the game as a facilitator first. So the fact that scoring wasn't really his primary wheelhouse to end up with 40,000 points is astonishing, and it speaks to his talent, it speaks to his physical dominance, it speaks to longevity, no question about that. I mean, the guy, what he does to his body to be able to play to this level, pushing 40 years old, I don't know that we'll ever see it quite like this again. So LeBron James, kudos to him, because this is really a record that no one really saw coming when he first entered the league, that he would be the all-time leading scorer. Certainly saw greatness, but not as a scorer to this degree.
Now, when you combine the assist numbers, the rebound numbers, the rings, the MVPs, he's the most accomplished individual player in the history of the sport. The question is, will we see him in the winner's circle again? I mean, he accomplished that number in a game against Denver. Are the Lakers good enough to do anything interesting like they did a year ago?
This is a different Western Conference, Greeny. There's too many landmines out there. Now, I will say there are teams still trying to figure out who they are. I mean, Dallas and Phoenix probably at the top of that list. So there may be some opportunities to make it interesting. I just don't see this Lakers team being close to being capable of what they did a year ago. They caught some breaks last year. I think they had an inexperienced team early. Then they get the Golden State Warriors, who was just undersized, and the Lakers swallowed them up defensively before they ran into a Denver team that was significantly better. They got swept. I don't see that happening this year. I don't think there's a path where you're winning a round or two in the Western Conference. I don't think the Lakers get out of the first round, and they may not survive the play-in, to be honest with you. They just don't have that same level of depth this year, and the Western Conference is just too loaded, too many quality teams.
Look, we could have KD, Steph, and LeBron all in the play-in this year. That would be something. Before I let you go, I want to show you who had some serious flavor last night. That is brought to you by Hidden Valley Ranch. Legs, Victor Wembanyama, first rookie ever with consecutive 25-point, 10 rebound, 5 assists, and 5 block games. I mean, put in perspective the last month we've seen from Wembanyama.
I'll sum it up this way. The league is in trouble. The league is in trouble because Victor Wembanyama now is completely comfortable, and he got there quicker than anybody thought he would. He now is doing things that really defy logic. I see every night, Greeny, 2 or 3 things that Victor Wembanyama does that I think he's the only player in the league that can make some of these plays, including a guy like Giannis Antetokounmpo. I thought the Rookie of the Year award early was Chet for the first 2 months. Then it was sort of neck and neck. It's a runaway now. Victor Wembanyama, it's going to be a landslide victory for Rookie of the Year, justifiably so.
Let's run the floor. We had Oklahoma City knocking off Phoenix yesterday. I don't know how much attention people are paying to the Thunder. What was your biggest takeaway?
Well, I think, first of all, Greeny, is that Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is an unstoppable offensive force in this league. And I think he's a guy now that's elevated himself to primary MVP status. I think he's going to get a lot of MVP votes. And you saw a team that has incredible chemistry amongst their starters. And the reason, a big part of it has been health, Greeny. They've only missed 10 games total. They're 5 starters all season, and they're led by a true superstar.
Yeah, speaking of health, let's go the opposite direction. Knicks beat the Cavs, but Jalen Brunson, you will see it right here. This is very early in the game. Looks like they just banged knees, and they may get very fortunate and escape this being as bad as it looked. But the injuries are piling up for the Knicks. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, listen, this is a situation for the Knicks where I really thought after the acquisitions at the trading deadline that this team could really challenge the Boston Celtics, maybe to a higher degree than anybody else in the Eastern Conference. But you've got to get these guys on the court at some point and establish some sort of flow. We are running out of time in the regular season to get all of these guys on the court to establish some sort of rhythm. So it is concerning right now for the Knicks. How far will they fall before they're at full strength? That's the question. Will they be a 4 seed or potentially in the play-in?
Meantime, it certainly seems like the Celtics are going to be the 1 seed. They were up 50 points at one point on the Warriors. Well, they won the game by 50, but they were up 50 in the second quarter of this game. Legs, how do you explain what happened yesterday in Boston?
Well, this is basically the perfect storm of the #1 offensive team in the league. That is a buzzsaw unlike any other. And a team in Golden State that was at the end of a trip. They were tired. They were shorthanded. Steph Curry didn't even know if he was going to play. I'm sure he now regrets actually playing in that game because he only gave him a half. It was that embarrassing. And I think this is just one of those nights where if you're Steve Kerr, you do exactly what he said after the game, Greeny. You flush this. You don't look at the tape. You don't talk about this game. Your measuring stick, if you're the Warriors, is not the Boston Celtics. Remind yourself of that. It is relevance in the Western Conference right now. It's not the best team in the NBA.
Now, Steph finished with 4 points and playing only 1 half. So I agree with you. Put the Warriors out of the conversation. Put the Celtics in the center of it. I said it this morning at our meeting. If not now, when? If they don't win, they are an odds-on favorite to win the East at ESPN Bet. If they don't win it this year, when are they going to? If it's the Celtics or the field, which way do you go?
You take the Celtics certainly over the field in the Eastern Conference. Look, I'm not going to automatically assume the Boston Celtics would beat the Denver Nuggets in a 7-game series. And right now, Denver would be my pick to represent the West, and they're defending champions. The bottom line is this, Greeny. The Celtics are going to need to get it done when it matters most. This is incredible what they're doing in the regular season. And right now, they're not even letting teams be in the game against them, particularly at home. Their margin of victory is the 5th highest in the history of the league. So they're just blasting teams with this deluge that they can hit you with offensively, particularly from the three-point line. 25 made threes last night as an example. But the bottom line is you're going to have to do this when it matters most. And that really falls, I think, on Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown. They're going to have to continue to play this way in those big series-defining moments as you move deeper into the season. But make no mistake, Boston has been the best team in the NBA this season, without a doubt. And they are actually playing their best basketball right now as you head down this stretch run toward the postseason. So it's perfect timing for Joe Mazzulla. Now you got to figure out a way to manage this huge lead you have in the East with health, rest, everything else, maintaining rhythm. It's going to be an interesting road the rest of the way for the Boston Celtics, who are certain to have home court advantage throughout the finals.
Absolutely. They look ridiculously good. Legs, stay close by. We'll do some more hoops